All right, Victorum Gaming fans and Hail Caesar fans, we're back in another of our series where we're covering the different factions, and today we have the early Achaemenid Persians. So this is basically the Persia that you probably are familiar with. So things like Cyrus the Great, Darius or Darius, Xerxes, and so on and so forth. And the Greco-Persian Wars, of course. So a really cool army, lots of diversity here, a lot of interesting ways to collect and game with this. So cavalry can be up to 50%. Again, as we covered our videos here, cavalry started off as basically non-existent and then slowly started creeping in, but here now finally up to 50%. Infantry has to be at least a quarter of the army, and not including skirmishers. And of your infantry that you select, 25% or more of it has to be the Sparabaras. Levy also has to be 25% of the infantry, and again, non-skirmisher. But so you're gonna have a lot of levy troops. Mercenary hoplites can also be up to a quarter of the infantry, basically representing various like Greek mercenaries and so on. And you can have up to 3 units of heavy scythes chariots, and these are pretty nasty. And then the usual division and skirmisher requirements there. So let's jump into the army here. And this is as you can see here, just as a quick pan down, a very, very lengthy army list with lots of things going on. So let's jump in. So you have the Immortals, medium infantry with spears and bows. Pretty average clash and sustain values for that. They're not heavy infantry, still just medium, but they do have really good range stats. Okay morale save, and then they're also stubborn and marksman. So a little bit of a sort of jack of all trades unit here. So solid melee and very solid at ranged as well. So and all that for 29 points a unit. No other restrictions on them, so you could have a whole lot of those guys. Then you can have Iranian or Medi Sparabara medium infantry, mixed spears and bows. Very similar, except they have the Sparabara special rule, which we'll get to. 26 points a unit. Medium infantry levy with spears. Again, pretty much the same, except no long range here, and they are levy. But they're also just 20 points a unit, so it's actually a fairly good bargain. You have the levy infantry with bows, so again the combat stats drop down a little bit, but you get that ranged back, and for ranged units, you actually have a solid morale save here. So this is strictly a bow armed unit, so not spears or anything else. They're still levies, but yeah, actually a 5-up armor or morale save there's pretty good, 21 points. Heavy infantry mercenary hoplites, so these are the elite almost of the army, even though really the Immortals should be occupying that spot, and probably should have the elite rule too. But anyway, heavy infantry here, so and this will be pretty much the standard template for hoplites, but 7s on close combat, and really nothing to speak of for range here. But you also get that 4-up morale save, and they have elite and phalanx, and this is going to cost you 35 points a unit though, so pretty hefty tag there. But again, you get that excellent combat ability. Jumping into the skirmisher section, we get the usual spread of units here. So javelins as small units. Again, all these guys are pretty much negligible in combat. It's really the ranged that you're buying them for in support. So 11 points there, and then give them basically slings instead of javelins, so up to half the skirmisher units total could do that. Brings in some long range ability for you for 1 extra point. And instead you could also go with bows, same restriction there, and that would also be 1 extra point. So and really it's just a matter of which range basically are you looking for there, but both viable options. And if you wanted to, you could again, if you're kind of going to really represent like a horde here approach, you could just downgrade them all to levy for -2 points per unit. So something to consider there, so you can just pack more units in. Then onto the cavalry, and again, you're spoiled for choices here with the Persians, so you have light, medium, and archer cavalry. So first up, light cavalry with javelins fielded as small units. Okay clash values, but again, drops off very significantly here, and again, that's mainly because these are small units. A little bit of short range, t-shirt morale save. And then Feign Flight, that was a really cool special rule, 19 points for that. You can swap things out basically and convert them over to horse archers, and up to half of your units of those. So it gives you okay, well, actually pretty respectable long range stat considering they're small units. Still get Feign Flight and all for 21 points a unit, so pretty good there. And again, you have the option of downgrading stuff into levy status for -2. So that'll be something to play with as you build, collect, and game with your army to figure out, just what amount of levies do you really want and are comfortable with, and how you can use that to maybe get more and more units, and just to try and overwhelm an opposing force there with multiple units, and assuming your orders are, of course, effective as well. Then just a regular horse archer unit here as a small unit. So this one does have Parthian Shot for 19 points. And then, let's see here. Good range stats for the small unit. Again, negligible combat here, a 4 for clash. Maybe they can deal with other small weak units, but again, try not to push them into doing things that they're not designed for. Then, but wait, there's more. There's always more with the Persians here. You get access to heavy cavalry. You only get one unit of it, but basically an elite guard unit here, spears and bows. Clash of 9, which is just phenomenal. Excuse me. Does drop off to a 6 though, so durability might be a little bit of an issue. They do have a 4 up morale save to help them out there, and some ranged ability as well, thanks to the bows. And this is actually not a small unit, so that's always good. And they are stubborn and marksmen as well. So again, it would be nice to see elite packed in here with these what really should be elite units. You would expect the guard unit to be elite, but it's maybe more in theme with the Persians, I guess, that they maybe didn't have something truly elite here, and it's just nothing but numbers. But anyway, moving on. That will cost you 36 points for that one unit, though, but certainly worth it if you want a very beefy unit and scary unit on the charge. Excuse me. Medium cavalry, then, which is only slightly weaker than that guard unit. So you get spears and bows, clash of 8, sustain of 5. Again, a little bit weaker, but still overall pretty good. You still get ranged ability and a 5-up save and no special rules, but 29 points a unit. If you wanted to basically take the bows off, it would save you 2 points for the unit, and you still have that short range ability. Which, again, in quantity could be pretty cool there, because you do have plenty of other ranged options for the army, so you don't need to have your cavalry doing all of that. But on the other hand, having the ability for pretty much everything in the Persian army to be shooting is pretty damn scary, which would hopefully then make up for any kind of combat deficiencies that they might have. Moving on, extra to upgrade the medium cavalry with spears and bows to heavy cavalry, so up to half of them. So basically you're making them like the guard unit above, just minus the special rules. So same as the stats, and that's +3 a unit. And then reduction to make any heavy or medium levy is -3. So again, you have so many options to consider here. Lots and lots of different up and down grades and ways to shave points off and get more units onto the table here. So as you can pretty much tell, I hope you're really spoiled for choices here with the Persians, and which really can and hopefully should make it difficult for an opponent to try and game plan against you. They know you can field a lot of everything, so it's just how you choose to do it. Do you want to go all infantry? Do you want to go lots and lots of skirmishers and stuff, and you want to go basically everything has a ranged attack? Do you want to max out on your cavalry, or just create like a very good combined arms force? So you have so many different options here, and yeah, there's really no bad units in this Persian army so far. Then the heavy scythe chariot, fielded as a unit of 1 model, and again you get, I think, 3 total of those we saw. So no range stats or anything whatsoever, and they really, interestingly here, just have a clash value of 7. Scythe chariot rule, and only 10 points per unit. Again, it's really because it's just 1 model, but another shock unit, basically. And then you have Arab, last but not least, Arab camel-mounted light cavalry with bows and javelins as a small unit, and only one of those. So, and feigned flight on them as well. So again, just another crazy little unit that you have. And then here, all the leaders are basically 8. However, you can upgrade hoplite commanders. So any commanders of hoplite divisions can be upgraded to leadership 9, so for 25 points. So if you really wanted to field a solid infantry contingent of mercenary Greeks here, basically that particular one could actually be leadership 9, which ironically would be better led than perhaps the army's general, but would certainly be another scary proposition to throw at potential enemies. So Persians really the superpower here of the ancient world for Rome, and really can do pretty much anything. They've got you on infantry. They've got everything basically shoots, even the medium infantry. Plenty of different cavalry. You got light, medium, heavy cavalry. A lot of the cavalry will shoot. A lot of them are effectively elite cavalry archers with like feigned flight and Parthian shot. You even got some chariots in here. You got another flavor of cavalry archer in the form of the camel-mounted archers. So this is really just an awesome, awesome list to contemplate. So if you really want a good challenge as a general, this will give you so much cool stuff to collect. And again, you can throw so many different things at the opponent here. This is just a fun list. If you really want to wrap your head around an army that has all kinds of different options for you to play with and really customize to your heart's content here, Persians are for you, the Achaemenid Persians here. And like I said, this would be a challenge, I think, for anybody to face if commanded properly. So there's, again, just so many things you have to plan for. Again, infantry blocks, they can be throwing elite hoplites at you, essentially. And, they can pretty much do everything your army can, and in most cases, probably better. And they can probably do several things your army can't do. So, really, really nasty lists. And could be cool, too, if you want to model it with, again, like Darius or Xerxes or Cyrus or whatever. So lots and lots of cool options here. So this is not the one that we'll see later during Alexander's time, but this is the early Achaemenid Persian. So think like 300 and stuff like that. So the early Greco-Persian wars there. So hope you guys enjoyed this little breakdown of the Persians. And if you could, give us a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you in the next one.